What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Bench in the Backyard. I am Jordan, and I am here with this. If you saw the live stream that I did, I was just spitballing some ideas on what I'm going to be doing with this Procumbens, the big giant Procumbens Nana that you see right here. I got it last weekend down in Georgia at Plant City Bonsai. Went down, talked to Steve. He had a bunch of these laid out. There were probably 12 to 15 of them. He had just gotten them in, so he hadn't even priced them out yet. And so went and talked to him. Was like, "How much you want for them?" He's pretty reasonable. 150 bucks for this. It's probably 15 or 20 years old. Pretty crazy bark on it. And yeah, it's a big boy. It's like 16 inches tall by 24 inches across. It does have this guy right here, which we come in and look at it. So this one right here is for the front of the tree, which is probably about right there. This is cutting straight across the front, but it is a right now it's got 3 trunks coming out of the ground, and this is this smaller trunk right here on the right, and then I've got another smaller trunk over here on the left, which I'm probably going to wind up doing as a cascade, and this is most likely going to be the planting angle. So if you look at it, just laying straight flat on the ground, we got this, which has really good movement in it. So it would be like right there if we did it flat. But again, if we go like that, it just gets a little bit more dramatic. This is more straight up than you have. If you look at it right here, you can see my finger moving. So right here is a little flat. It's not quite parallel to the ground, but it's pretty close. And then this part up here becomes basically dead straight vertical. So if we go like this, we don't have any of those perpendicular parallel problems. And so yeah, I think we're going to be planning it out at this angle. Today all we're going to be doing is the repot on it, because I mean, it's a $150 tree. I don't want to like repot and style all at once. I don't want to stress it out too much. Also, while I was down there, I got this pot and a couple of other things. I got this pot for one of the trees that I'm about to be getting. This is probably the front. The glaze on it's not perfect, but I mean, picked it up for 30 bucks. Really nice. It is a Tokonami pot. It is unmarked. But yeah. So nice little pot. This is going to be for my Harlandy that's inside. Y'all have seen me do work on that a couple times. I also picked up another Harlandy that's in there. It's fairly small, and picked up this little pot to go with it. It's 16 bucks. It's a little Chinese, production pot. It's not horrible. The glaze on it is fairly nice. This will probably be the front of that pot. But yeah, so picked up all of this for like 300 bucks. The Harlandy was like $20. $16 for that little pot. So you're talking $35 plus a little bit of soil. You're maybe $1 worth of soil, so you get 36 bucks. Nice little broom style Harlandy boxwood that y'all will see in a little bit. I can go grab it and I'll show you what it looks like. It's almost time to start moving everything out. Anyway, this is the beginning of Holy Week, so Fat Tuesday is tomorrow. Today is Monday. And yeah, so let's get into this. But before I do, just remember, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, throw a thumbs up down below. Let YouTube know that this guy's might be an idiot, but at least he's a funny idiot, I guess. If you don't like what you see, leave a comment down below, or if you have some tips, pointers, anything like that, leave me a comment down below, and just help me get better with bonsai, because I mean, this is the beginning of my 3rd year of keeping trees in pots. So yeah, this pot is probably a little deep for this. It won't be the final pot that it goes into, but it is good for moving it out from this training pot into this pot. I shouldn't have to take too many roots off, and I mean, pretty decent pot. I think I paid 75 bucks for this. Again, it's a Yixing, it's a Chinese production pot. It might actually be handmade, can't tell. Actually, it's probably handmade, at least the feet are. So yeah, so 75 bucks for this, not too bad. And then this guy, so let's see if we can get it out of this plastic pot. Pretty root bound, so yeah, we're gonna have to do a decent amount of work to it. So what we'll do is we'll come in here, we'll find the nabari, if there is anything. We'll see how deep we can get, and then we'll have to shave off part of it so that we can flatten that out. Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do is grab my root hook. And we're going to come in here gently, get everything all over the fish. But yeah, we're going to just tease out this root ball. Alright, so we've got most of the outside of this ripped out a little bit. Got some larger roots. We just need to get into the top of this ball and see if we can't find where the start of the nabari actually is. These roots seem fairly shallow. I kind of wish I had gotten a much shallower pot now. You know, when I picked it up and saw the, I actually took it out of the pot and saw all the roots going around the outside, I figured it was going to be closer to root bound, but you know, up underneath this thick pad right here is basically nothing. And going through this the substrate that I'm pulling out of it, you don't have a whole lot of roots in it. So and there's some larger or some finer roots down here at the bottom as you get into it. But a lot of this is actually originating from the top. And I know one thing that I'm going to have to do is over on this side right here, we're going to have to flatten this out a bit. Up in here. Like this, just so we can get it to sit flat in the pot. And it'll be a little bit more stable. And we want to basically, while we're pruning the roots, we want to set the angle so that it actually will sit there, and we don't have to fight the tree trying to get it wired into the pot at the right angle. We don't want to have to maybe come off of this back side a little bit as well. So about like that. It is a little bit that side heavy. This is where most of the foliage is in this second trunk. Yeah, like I said, this guy right here, that third trunk, and it's also got a piece back here that is just these two pieces of foliage right there. So that's all that is coming off of that third trunk. So that won't be a problem getting rid of that. I can either gin it. Well, I mean, I'm going to gin it today. And I can either keep that gin or get rid of it, depending on how I like it. So I will gin it today. I may cut it off today if I don't like the way it looks, or if it doesn't fit in with the rest of the tree. But yeah. And if your roots start getting a little bit dry, just come in, keep your handy little spray bottle nearby, give them a couple of mists, and that'll help you out. It'll stress the tree as little as possible by keeping as much of those roots moist as possible. You don't want them to die off. And we're not going to be having it out a long time, but we want to definitely make sure that they are wet right before they go into the pot, because we're going to be chopsticking, especially on something with a root mass this big. We're going to be chopsticking for quite a while. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just starting at the base of the trunk, and then just combing out radially, trying to get everything spread out as best I can. Trying to get right, especially right here up under this other side, trying to get out a little bit more dirt so that I can lay these roots over here a little bit flatter against the what will be the soil line. So I just come up underneath, dig out a little bit of soil, and then we'll press those down. And you see, that way, instead of being up here like that, I'm actually able to get them to lay down a little bit flatter. You need just a little bit more undercut. But yeah, like I said, as far as the root mass goes, it's actually a very nice spread in here. Let's pick you up, bring you in. You can see the roots are fairly radial. There's a few that are overly big. I'm gonna have to come in and trim this guy out. But it's just that part of that root that is super big. So I might just come back right before that and cut that off. But yeah, whoever is doing these for Steve at Plant City Bonsai is doing a very good job with his Nabaris. I do not know who it is. I was kind of afraid to ask. I didn't want to make him think that I was going to go around him to try and get a better deal from his supplier. But yeah, I'm trying to just comb out a little bit. And I think that's probably going to be the cleaning angle, so I need to come up a little bit up under here on the front side, or kind of the 3/4 front. just to get these to lay down as well. And here I'm getting into some thicker roots. Yeah, I really like the root spread on this thing is gorgeous. Surprised, like, you know, when you're going to it is a bonsai, Plant City is a bonsai nursery, so you expect slightly better than just plain old nursery stock that you'd get at like Lowe's or Home Depot. But this is just really fantastic. It's not even that much fine roots. Anyway, I'll come in here. That come out. That's not a whole lot. So yeah, right there. I got a few other bigger roots. We'll go ahead and take out. Just to kind of even up the, we'll leave that. I don't want to get too far down into the middle of this root ball and then lose a bunch of roots. But this thing, down here in the middle, we've got some thick roots that we can get rid of. But again, this is something you don't have to do all at once. It's actually better if you don't do it all at once. It's going to take a few repottings of this and a new pot before I get it where I actually want it. Because I want it to sit about like that. And still need to come in the undercut over here on this other side, because on this side, instead of getting it to lay flatter by pushing it down, I need to actually lift it up a little bit. So if I can get out a little bit of this up underneath where some of these roots are kind of being held down by the roots below them. Like that. So that as we're sitting here, these will actually lift up about like that, and we'll have kind of a flat base right there. But man, if I had known this, I'd have gotten like a 2-inch deep pot, and I wouldn't have worried about it having to step down in pot size over the course of a couple of repottings. Because like I said, there's like 3 inches maybe of really good roots in here. So past that, it's all like all of these roots down here at the bottom are coming off of like woodier shoots. So a root kind of like this, and you've got this big thick, you can see that, you got this big thick root right here. And most of these down at the bottom are coming off of roots like that. But this should be enough. Maybe slightly more right here. Right at the front. To kind of get that to be able to go down a little bit more once we lift that up. So about like that is probably going to wind up being our planting angle. All right. Taken already probably 60% of the soil out, so that's about as far as I want to go with this. I don't want to take too much out. But that'll come down in here, and we'll pot probably about right there. So it's almost even with the top of the pot there, which is, I mean, we want it to be a little bit higher than that. What I've done with this pot is I just came in, made a couple of wire staples, put them through the bottom. You've seen any number of people do that, but it's pretty easy. I don't really scratch wire right now. I'd show you. Anyway, so now I just have to figure out which holes I want to use to tie in with. So this one comes with wire tie down holes. So what I'm going to probably wind up doing is one of these fronts better. This front is slightly better. Well, yeah, this front is slightly better. So back here in the back, I'm actually going to use this hole, this hole and this one of the drainage holes, and then over here on this side, I can come either to there or to there. Let me see. So we're actually going to use the two potting holes over here, and then we're going to use those two over here. Right? Yeah. Where did I put my wire truck? With the screening that I'm using, all I'll do is come in here and make a sharp point. Come on. But anyway, I just cut that off at an angle. I don't know, you can't really see it. Oh, there we go. And that'll just push through the screen. It's held down with the two staples anyway, so it's not. So if you just hold the screen down right at the hole and push that through, same thing over on this other side, push it through, and that'll just also help tie down that big piece of, I mean, it's basically just window screen repair, a roll. It's like 6 inches by, I don't know how many feet, but it just comes in a roll. And cut off what I need, bring it up in here like that, and then I'll do the same thing over on this other side. I'll cut my spike. Cut my other spike. With this one, we're coming up through this back. And then also up through the drainage hole. Now normally I would down in the bottom do a layer of just like a quarter nick of my normal potting substrate, the 111 Akadama Pumice and Lava, but because of the shallowness of that root ball, like how the roots actually are, I'm just putting a layer of lava rock down here at the bottom. It's just lava rock. Then I'm going to put a thin layer of my normal substrate, about a ½ inch, quarter an inch, somewhere in there. Flatten that out, and then we're going to build a cone just slightly off center over here, so that we can be sure that we get a good contact up underneath this root ball. And we're just going to rotate and push down, about like that. And over here, we're just not tightening it down yet. We're just trying to make sure that we're coming up over the top of the roots. And we'll tighten that in as soon as we get this other side where we want it. And the same thing, we're going to come up over the top of the roots. It's slightly back from center, if you can see that right here, and it's slightly to the right where the trunk is coming out of center, or to your left, because what it's doing is it's coming back this way and it's coming forward as well. And if we put it directly in the center, then it will be really, really front heavy. We don't want that. We want a little bit of space at the top. We're coming over the top of this big root ball, just to kind of hold it in place like that. And over here, what we're going to do is we're going to lift up and twist down. And you got to make sure that you're pulling up as you're twisting down, or you won't get all of that slack out of the line. Come in here, cut this down a little bit. It's getting kind of awkward. Lift up and twist. And then the same thing over here on this back side. We're going to lift and twist. And you get a hold of it. It's kind of hard to see where I am in this hole. Pull up and twist it down. So get a little bit of a wiggle. And once you've done this on this side, we're going to go back to that other side and check and make sure that we didn't do something to kind of mess that one up, because we don't want this to be able to move around in this pot at all, especially while we're getting more roots to grow. And back over here. Pull up, We actually slipped off the top of the root ball. That should be fine. We can come in here and tighten it down a little bit lower. I just don't want to make it too pronounced, where you have this like cliff face right here. Can you see it? Yeah, you got this cliff face right here. Like that. Loosen a little bit. Pull some of this up. Basically this top layer of roots right here, we're going to pull these up and out of the way. And then come down in here and secure basically just the bottom portion of this root ball, which we're going to eventually cut off anyway. Don't really care about, other than keeping the tree healthy this year and next year. And probably come back in 2 years' time, do some more root work on it, as long as it comes back, you know, like it bounces back. We'll put this down, and then when we put our soil in, that should be enough to keep everything down here. Come back in, spray it one good time before we load this thing up with soil. Clean up this back piece of wire. Tuck that down in. And that should be pretty good. And then we're going to take our chopstick and make sure we get this down into those roots that we teased away from the outside of the soil ball. We want to get some of this down into the middle of that soil ball as well. And make sure that we take up all of those air pockets. So as you're pushing down in, make sure that you are changing up the angle of your chopstick. So you come in, get some here, get some there, get some there. Yeah, if you find a spot that's taking a lot of soil, like as you see here, that soil just seems to be disappearing here. I can move y'all a little closer so you can actually see the chopsticking part. So as you see that dirt, the substrate starting to disappear, you can scrape some more over and do the same thing. Coming at it from every angle. Alright, so we're all chopsticked in. It's not really taking a whole lot of soil, it's just moving it around now. We're just going to get all of these roots down off the surface so that we can come in with some moss. It's going to look a little dull and not super green right now, because we haven't had any good rain in a while. But once it's in this pot and I start watering it, it'll all green up real nice. You got a couple of different types. You don't have to cover the whole thing. You just want to kind of spread out, because as this moss matures, it'll spread itself out. The key part is really just to get the mix, get everything all, you don't want all of one type of moss. And I've only got really two types of moss, well, three types. So I've got this little hair moss, and then another type of hair moss. And then we're going to come through and just all the way around, add a little bit of this, just so that we know that it'll protect any roots that are kind of up at the top of the soil, and it'll also kind of hold in, especially the pumice. The pumice is pretty light, so it'll tend to float and run off the side, and you'll start losing a little bit of soil. And right there, and down here. Like that. Well, one more spot. I've got one more. So yeah, right there is our front. Ooh, you can't really see. I'll turn it back. So like that. I'm gonna go water it in. I'll come right back, and then we're gonna work on this one piece that I know is probably not gonna stick around. Okay, so this trunk right here, I know. Nope, just do it. This is not going to work, because what I'm planning on doing is dropping this right there as a cascade branch. We'll bring this one up a little bit, like that, so that this will be our second branch. This will be our first directional branch after the cascade, because that cascade is technically a whole nother trunk. So it's this part back here, and that'll lift. And we need to get rid of this guy right here. We'll just come in, get rid of that. That's warm enough. And let's hope that we can get this to root, and we can have us a new bonsai. That would be nice. Might be able to get another one out of the back side too. Alright, we're going to cut this one off about the same way. So it's coming off of this trunk right here. We'll cut it off about right there. So, like I said, it's not a whole lot of material is actually being lost off of that trunk. And again, maybe 2 more. I don't know, we'll see. Worst thing happens is it doesn't root, and I didn't waste anything. All 3 of those actually have really good movement, and they're off of an older branch, so that's pretty nice. And we'll come in here, just separate this bark from the everything underneath. And as this piece dries out, because it's not getting any more sap or water flow to it because we cut off all of the foliage, so as it dies back, this the rest of this cambium and xylem will peel back, and it'll age. The deadwood will age as it goes. Nice. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. This is going to go in the shade on my potting bench. The potting bench gets like maybe an hour of morning sun. So it should be enough to that I won't have a problem with it being all messed up. But what I'm planning on doing is, so that's the front. Planning on taking this first branch over here, bringing it forward a little bit. This branch over here, or that second trunk, we're actually going to drop down a little bit and rotate to kind of flatten that out into more of a semi-cascade branch. And then this one will bring up a little bit and pull around. So we've got that kind of look right there. Then over here, I've got, so this is the cascade right here. We'll obviously bring it back a little bit. We might actually gin this front branch right here and use just, what would that give us? Would give us just that branch right there, which is a possibility. Or just gin off parts of this trunk. This one will obviously come up a little bit and then bend down like that. So yeah, And we'll obviously have this one out for the back. And then I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this top. And he's coming back to the left. So if I brought this down and use basically this is the tree, maybe clean all of this off so that the only foliage over here would be this. I don't know. We'll see once I go in here and clean it up. Like I said, that'll happen in probably middle of May, early middle May. Right now it is March the 3rd, so that would be 2 months for it to bounce back from this. What I'm going to be doing is watching this and looking for new growth to start pushing. And if it does, great, and I can start working on it. If not, then it might have to wait until next year before I start doing any work on it. But I don't want to do it all at once because, I mean, that's a lot of money to be spending on something that you then have to once you die back on. Especially something up here, because really what you're paying for with this is the height and the fact that it's actually staked, and those roots were actually really nice. So yeah, that is the work for the day. Oh, I need to go grab that other Harlandy. So this is that other tree that I got. In comparison, it's not a whole lot. But yeah, for a Harlandy boxwood, it's pretty decent for 20 bucks. So the front of this tree is probably going to be about right there. It's got this middle stem that died off, so I'm going to have to cut that back. Yeah, everything off of that is dead, so that'll get cut back. And just a little broom style Harlandy. Move this for a minute. Little broom style Harlandy boxwood. So we'll bring this all up like that. Like I said, that's going to be going in this pot. Like that. So, yeah, looks really good. How are the roots on this? Fantastic. These he is actually propagating himself, his Harlandys. He buys in his junipers. But yeah, we should be able to fit that down in there pretty nicely. And like I said, it'll be not a bad little tree. Not bad for, what did I say, $36, $37. The pot came with wire and mesh, so I don't even have to spend anything on that. So yeah, that'll be fun time. You'll see that and my other Harlandy at the same time. I've got something set up. Probably not next, well, it'll probably not be the next video you see, but the one after that should be those two Harlandys. That'll actually be getting done in 2 weeks time, not this weekend, but this weekend coming, but next weekend coming. So yeah, man, that's a really cool tree. I really like it. This elevation change, I mean, we got it up nice, and I mean, you can see it's still a little front heavy in the pot, but it's not too bad. And the tree, the apex of the tree will be basically centered on the pot. You can see, there you go. You see that a little bit better. So yeah, these branches are almost barred. This one actually comes from a little bit above it. So I am getting a little bit of inverse taper over here. So that might be something that needs to get worked on. I may have to, I don't really want to gin this, and then I don't know. or gin this side over here, since I've got this big thing, this big cascade over here. And I mean, this is just this foliage on that branch. So I don't know. That'll be something that, as I look at it over the next few months, or the next couple of months, it'll be sitting over here on my potting bench in the shade. I'll be looking at it literally every single time I go to get in my car, and probably make some. It'll just have to, over time, come up with something. But yeah. So I'm really excited about this tree. It's going to be pretty good. So until the next time. Oh, nope. If you liked what you saw, remember, give me a subscription. It doesn't cost anything. Hit the thumbs up button down below. If you didn't like what you saw, or have a comment on some way that I can get this Nabari a little bit flatter. I mean, it still mounds up a little bit right here. I don't know if what I did with undercutting and laying it down a little bit more is the right way to do it, but it seemed like the only way that I could get that without having, a big come up here and then straight down into the pot. I'm just trying to cut off that little cliff face a little bit. This backside, I could probably use a little bit of height over here, but anyway, so that's that tree. And until the next time I see y'all out at the bench in the backyard, just remember to grow them big, but keep them small.